Circuit board meeting, what's going on?
No, I didn't see it in here.
Maybe I saw it online. I think it was a memo.
Nope, we're all set.
online.
That's why I asked if you saw it on.
Residents and board members, I'd like to call to order our regular board meeting for Monday, February 11, 2013. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Witt, will you please take the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Brado,
Here.
Mr. Capral,
Here.
Mr. Swikowski is asked to be excused, Mr. Tominello.
Here.
Mr. York.
Here.
Mr. Witt, here, Mr. Verkest.
Here. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, including approval of the regular board meeting minutes of January 28, 2013, approval of the bills in the amount of $1,018,601.74, and accepting the donation from Teresa Kelly for a park bench in memory of her husband to be placed along the bike path west of Shoreline and east of Prentice.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Support. All right, we've got a motion by Mr. York, support by Mr. Tominello. Discussion, board members? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. Next is the approval of the regular agenda. Board members, the agenda's been presented to you. Are there any amendments? And if not, is there approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion by Mr. York. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Capral. To approve the regular agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, board. Next on our agenda is supervisor and board comments. I've got a few announcements. The clerk's office is now offering passport pictures to be taken as an additional service at a cost of $10. The St. Hubert Knights of Columbus Fish Fry and Bake Sale to benefit the Harrison Township Public Library is this Friday, February 15, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the St. Hubert Activity Center. Harrison Township Public Library is hosting Story Hour on Saturday, this Saturday, February 16, from 10 a.m. to noon with the theme Love Stories and including a craft. All children must be accompanied by an adult. The library is also hosting Tales with Tales, a two-day event on Wednesday, February 20th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. and then on Saturday, February 23rd from 11 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Children will get a chance to read with Patty the therapy dog. Pre-registration is required and all children, again, must be accompanied by an adult. For any questions regarding library issues, you can call 586-329-1261, or you can also visit our website. We've recently upgraded the township website. Please visit www.harrison-township.org. And if you have any questions regarding the new site, please call the supervisor's office, 586-466-1445.
I do have one announcement. The last day to pay your taxes without penalty will be February 14th. The treasurer's office will be only accepting tax payments through March 1st. And then from there, you will have to pay the county. And I'd also like to mention that for those of you that would like to do online payments, we do have the system now where you can do an online ACH payment. So that's where you put in your checking account number and you can pay your tax bill that way, and it only costs you $1. The township does not charge that service fee. That's a service that Chase Bank is offering for our residents, and you can get that at our website at harrison-township.org. And click on the link that says Pay My Bill, which is right on the front page of the township's website.
All right, good. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we'll move forward on our agenda, item B, which is a resolution honoring Edward Eads. Mr. Witt?
Yes, at a regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Charter Township of Harrison on Monday, February 11th, 2013, the following resolution was adopted. Whereas Edward Eads has given distinguished service to Harrison Township, and whereas Edward Eads has served as a member of the Civil Service Commission since 2006, and whereas Edward Eads has taken the time and opportunity to make himself familiar with the Charter Township of Harrison Fire Department and the rules governing the Civil Service Commission, and whereas Edward Eads has shown himself to be an excellent representative of the local community through his commitment and service as the board appointment to the Civil Service Commission, and now therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the residents of Harrison Township, the Board of Trustees wishes to thank Edward Eads for his service to this community and to wish him long life and happiness.
Thank you. Certainly, we're appreciative of the service Mr. Eads has given to the community. Is that a,
Yes.
make that
Yeah,
resolution?
I'll make that, offer that as a motion.
Support.
All right. Got a motion then by Mr. Witt, with support by Mr. Tominello. Discussion? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, Mr. Witt, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Witt, yes. Mr. Tominello?
Yes.
Mr. Brado?
Yes.
Mr. Capral?
Yes.
Mr. Swakowski is excused. Mr. York?
Yes.
Mr. Verkest?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item C, approval to contract with Wade Trim to prepare a grant application in the amount of $2,500. Board members, our waterfront is one of our greatest assets, but much of it is underutilized. We recently learned that there are funds available for infrastructure improvements such as paths, sidewalks, lighting, and parking. In order to access those funds, we need a plan to encourage effective development. Wade Trim, our engineer Dave Newmer, recently approached us to tell us of a grant opportunity that is funded through NOAA and the DEQ for a 50% match to help us pay for this kind of study. The match that we must provide can include in-kind services such as labor, and the Macomb County Planning and Economic Development Department has agreed that they would also assist with some of the tasks, which would also count toward our match. The cost to apply for the grant is a cost not to exceed $2,500, and it also requires that we pass a resolution committing our match if we are awarded the grant. Once, in the event that we're successful, or I should say that Wade Trim is successful in helping us apply for this grant, we would then have an RFQ produced and send out for quotes. We learn in the fall, and the project can begin January 1. Wade Trim agreed that they would prepare the RFQ at no additional cost. Mr. Newmer, is there more to add, or what might you tell the board about that?
Unless there's any questions from the board, you did a good job explaining it.
Make a motion to direct Wade Trim to apply for waterfront redevelopment plan grant through NOAA MDEQ at a cost not to exceed $2,500, and to also,
Well, I almost think it
Do
might
it
have to be
separately,
two
yeah.
motions, because one's a vote and one's a resolution.
okay,
So,
doesn't pass, there's no resolution.
that's right. So we got a motion by Mr. York. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Mr. Witt. Discussion, board members? Hearing no discussion and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Mr. York, had you considered a resolution?
I'd make a motion to approve the resolution approving submission of coastal zone management grant application for the waterfront redevelopment plan.
Okay.
And we should probably also say
And
that,
committing, yeah.
that, just for the citizens, we'd be committing, the grant is $40,000, and we would be committing, cash and/or in-kind services of no more than $20,000 to that project.
Great. Got a motion by Mr. York. Is there discussion? Is there a second?
I will support it.
Okay. A second by Mr. Witt. It's important to note, the estimate that, Mr. Newmer had provided is likely to be less than the 40,000 total, so our match is likely to be less. And again, some of that can be in-kind services, so we don't anticipate that our total match to this will be, anywhere near 20,000.
Yes, I'm assuming that they would bring the project back for costs and things like
Like,
that.
it gets
you know.
bid out after
Right.
after we're awarded the grant, then we have the opportunity to bid it out, and any planning service company can bid on it, so we probably get a very competitive price.
Yep. So, but under no circumstances, if I recall correctly, Mr. Newmer, whatever the grant is, there's no way that the funds provided through this grant ever equal greater than 50% of the cost. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, so we apply for a certain amount. If the cost were to come back greater than that, we'd have to make up the difference. But the idea would be that we would ask for half and then contribute half.
That's correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we've got a motion motion for a resolution by Mr. York with support by Mr. Witt, approving submission of the Coastal Zone Management Grant application for a waterfront redevelopment plan, including a commitment of up to $20,000 in cash and in-kind services as a match if we're successful in receiving the grant. Mr. Witt, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. York,
Yes.
Mr. Witt, yes, Mr. Brado,
Yes.
Mr. Capral,
Yes.
Mr. Swaykowski is excused, Mr. Tominello.
Yes.
Mr. Verkest.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is item D1. Board members, we've received an application for Mr. John Gaber for the Firefighters Pension Board. Mr. Gaber has a great familiarity with the township, being a resident for over a decade and previously serving as the deputy treasurer from 2004 to 2007. Mr. Gaber's experience with financial budget planning and management would prove to be an asset for the Firefighters Pension Board. I would recommend appointment for a 4-year term to expire on November 20th, 2016.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. York, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Tominello to appoint Mr. Gaber to the Firefighters Pension Board. Discussion? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda, item E1, request approval to transfer ownership and location of 2012 Class C liquor license with new dance permit located in escrow at 35101 Harper, Clinton Township, Michigan, from D&B Entertainment to 31970 North River Road, Bumpers Landing Boat Club, LLC.
Mr. Supervisor, if I may, speaking on behalf of the Planning Commission, we did review this at planning. There were no site changes that was discovered in the submission.
Okay.
There was a security entry door that was replaced on the building as requested by the fire chief. And with that said, the Planning Commission recommends transfer of the Class C license and dance permit at Bumpers Landing Boat Club, LLC.
Okay.
Did they discuss, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
okay.
actually, I had, at that point, I was gonna turn it over to Mr. Witt, because it was something that he'd brought, so.
Well, I was just gonna ask a question. At the planning commission, did the applicant mention if all these activities are gonna be indoor? I know that we did.
There's no change at all. There's no change at all
So,
to the use.
my only concern is having, well, this is a new dance permit, so my concern is, a few years ago, we had some problems over in that area with some bands playing outside. Did they mention any of that, or?
The dance permit was going to be used in its current use, which is
Inside?
indoors.
Okay.
Yep.
So I don't know if you had anything, I just read the agenda item, I don't know if there's more on the,
Everything, all the inspections are in compliance for building, plumbing, electrical, and fire, like Mr. Tominello said. Background check was conducted in regards to the new dance permit. The applicant did sign our covenant, which restricts the use to those approved by the township. And at this point, we are simply a recommending body, and Planning Commission has made recommendation to approve the license.
I'll go ahead and make
I'll
that
make a-
motion.
I was gonna make the
All
motion.
right,
Okay,
got a motion by
Trying to get
Mr.
in there.
Yeah, motion by Mr. Tominello,
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the new dance permit to transfer ownership and location of the 2012 Class C license business located in escrow at 35101 Harper, Clinton Township, Michigan 48035, from D&B Entertainment Incorporated to 31970 North River Road, Harrison Township, Michigan 48045, Macomb County, Bumpers Landing Boat Club, LLC.
All right, we've got a motion by Mr. Tominello, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Brado. Discussion? Hearing none? Nope. We'll open up the floor for public comment.
Hi, Linda Verschuren, 31735 North River Road. I just want to make sure, because it seemed like we weren't real clear, as long as this is going to remain indoors, as when Bumpers was there originally, not when the Mariners Club took it over. Because this is when we started experiencing the noise pollution on the street, is once the Mariners Club took over. So you're assuring us this is going to now be indoors? Is this what we're saying? It was kind of like you were saying, is it indoors? You know, I just wanted some clarification.
That is the understanding
Okay.
under the submission. Talks about jukebox, disc jockey, and occasional one or two man band.
Okay, but it will be indoors, because it is very noisy on the weekends now. Last summer, it was quite distracting.
See, as this is a new dance permit, we can vote no on that.
Yeah, what
right
is the
now.
dance permit?
And I hope the applicant understands, we don't want any trouble. We can vote no right now, but
Right,
we're hoping
right.
that, good faith and.
If good faith is
it's kept
falls
indoors
short,
and we don't
we
have any
can
trouble.
come back to the table about this? No, I don't think so, once you give approval.
So
Okay.
normally during public comment, we try
Yeah,
not to
just
engage
there
in
was-
Right,
discussion, so
right.
any questions you have, we'll answer them once,
Uh-huh.
once the
I
public-
just want to be clear that this is going to be indoors and not outdoors, like I think the Mariners Club has had a few times during the summer.
See, it doesn't say on here specifically indoor. It just says a band,
Can we
and
have
it
that
doesn't
on?
say indoor or outdoor. And that's why I was asking that question, because I'm sure the planning commission did ask that question, because we
Oh,
had.
I'm sure, but
With bumpers,
could
there
we
were
have
some
that
problems
put
in
in
the past, I
there?
recognize that. I know my phone was ringing off the hook at home at 1 in the morning a couple of weekends.
Oh, it was very, very loud, yes. I would just like to see it in, the proposal or the agreement. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other public comment, we'll close the floor for public comment, move back to board comment. Whether we're approving a new business to open or we're dealing with an existing business, the township has ordinances that regulate noise and entertainment and all those things. So, a change of ownership, it's just, we have to be careful that we're not prejudiced with any particular business because of maybe a prior owner or a prior manager or a prior situation. Excuse me, the fact remains that regardless of whether a business is new or has been open in the past or whatever those circumstances are, we still have ordinances, and the township is, has a responsibility, as well as the business owners, to follow those ordinances, and in the event that businesses do not follow the ordinances, then we have a need to pursue enforcement. So it's important for this board to understand that approval of this is it by no means any waiver of any requirement to conform to any ordinance. And as Mr. Witt said, the applicant has already signed the covenant, as you described, basically committing to adhere to the ordinances that the township has regulating these types of businesses.
We don't allow outside bands in our
Well, that's what I was
ordinances.
just gonna say, and that is correct, Mr.
Yeah.
Burkess talked about. Anytime you have, outside entertainment, that's a separate permit that you have to
And they
obtain.
come here, cause I remember a couple
is correct.
times, the board has voted
That is
to allow somebody to have a one-time
Yes,
outdoor event.
that is correct.
Okay.
So, any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, we've got a motion by Mr. Tominello with support by Mr. Brado to recommend approval for a new dance permit and to transfer ownership and location of 2012 Class C licensed business located in escrow at 35101 Harper, Clinton Township, Michigan, from D&B Entertainment to 31970 North River Road, Harrison Township. Bumpers Landing Boat Club LLC. That doesn't require a roll call, does it?
Nope.
Nope. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
I think what throws, I wish they would've named it something other than bumpers.
Well, yeah, there's just a, yeah,
Bumpers has some bad connotations with
But it all,
people
you know,
on-
it's name recognition still.
yeah, yeah. All right, next on the agenda, item F1, approval to post the admin clerk position internally in the Water and Sewer Department and fill the position should there be no internal applicant. Board members, there has been an open position, the administrative clerk, in the Water and Sewer Department since December 4th, 2012. There is a need to post the position internally, but it is unlikely that there is an interested party since that position has been posted multiple times in the last 6 months. Catherine Firmbach has worked in the position as a temp for approximately 1.5 months. Ms. Firmbach was ranked at the top of the list of candidates when we'd interviewed for clerical positions last September. I think she was in we had 2 positions to fill, and she was in the top, we'd narrowed it really down to top 3. In addition, she worked throughout the year last year in the clerk's office, assisting with the 2012 election, and everyone who had worked with her had spoken very highly of her. Ms. Firmbach has been an asset to the Water and Sewer Department in the last month and a half. She's been learning things very quickly. Therefore, if there are no internal applicants, I would recommend Ms. Firmbach to be hired to fill the administrative clerk position in the Water and Sewer Department. And I've listed the hiring cost to hire that person in that position. As you know, with the new contract that we approved, these are tiered benefits, so the cost to replace this person is at a substantially lower cost in terms of legacy expenses than the current employees.
Motion to post the Water and Sewer Administrative Clerk position internally per the AFSCME contract, and if there are no internal candidates, to hire Ms. Catherine Firmbach, subject to a 90-day probationary period, physical, and drug test.
Got a motion by Mr. Witt. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Brado. Discussion, board members?
I just want to say she's done a fantastic job, and I've heard nothing but good things from people, and my interaction with her has been really
Yep.
great, so.
Same here.
Yep, very, very positive. So we're very excited about it. Any other discussion? Hearing none and seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next is public comments. Are there any public comments from the floor? Well, hearing none, we'll move it back to board comments. Any board comments?
Motion to adjourn?
We've got a motion to adjourn by Mr. York. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Caprell. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, board.
That's gotta be close to a record.